The Rockingham Sharks, they've had a real late change in the warm-up. Daniel Goodwin has split his hand open and has had to head off to hospital. So he's been a late scratching, which means Connor Hudson will go back to fullback. So not exactly sure how they're going to line up. But Surlapera, Brendan White-Berryman, Connor Hudson, Liam Johnson, Harves, Carlo Trago and Kelvin Coleman, Sam Perra and Damien Worth up front. Jonathan Maddow, Brody Gilchrist, Peter Worth, Keelan Tuta Edwards, and on the bench, Marcel Lodart, Tuakana Williams, Yuri Taipiti, Tom Murphy, and the late inclusion, Tyzil Kazoas. So it's the Rockingham Sharks with first use of the ball. And there's that late inclusion. It was one of the reserve grade players for the Sharks was just here to watch this game. And yeah, all of a sudden he's been thrown some socks and some boots and told he's playing first grade. So a real late inclusion.
Right side.
You see Rockingham working it away, Tudor Edwards playing the ball back to Murphy. He was another late inclusion, big inclusion for the Sharks. He's recovered from COVID, has kept him out. He wasn't expected to play today, but he's tested negative, so he takes his place in the team. The playing coach for the Sharks. That one knocked backwards by Parkinson. As the Roosters come up with the ball, the Roosters with a couple of big wins to start this season, 40-24 over North Beach and 30-16 last week against the Joondalup Giants. And a high tackle. We'll see the Roosters go onto the front foot and onto the attack. For the first time here on Saturday night, they don't kick for the sideline, they just tap and go. There's Wilson Wiley. Takes the first carry, now Kerr. It's Mitch Kerr. Put down onto his back by Coleman. Butler, out the back to Kemp. Kemp tips it on to Edwards. Edwards tips it out wider. Now they come back through the middle. A good run there from Header. Keep working down a short side. Inside ball to Kemp. The Sharks' defence. They do well and they handle that. Now the Roosters, and a knock on there, is it one take? No, knock backwards, says Spittle, the referee. Out to Puhilia, stands in the tackle, the offload over the shoulder. The Sharks dive on it, they've knocked that forward there, the Sharks.
Has to be a knock on there, Donny.
Yes, it is, it's picked up. Caleb, unsettled preparation for both teams coming into this one. The Fremantle Roosters, of course, having Bjorn Crotty pulled out this morning, and Rockingham in the warm-up, Daniel Goodwin has split his hand open and gone to hospital.
Oh no.
So they've had a very late scratching, both teams fairly unsettled. Who do you think is going to be able to handle that better?
Look, I think the Roosters, Bjorn's a big loss. But I think the Roosters obviously have got a really nice forward pack. They welcome back Segi back into the time, which is Tabakanaka. So, you know, I don't think they're going to really struggle too much.
And they've got another opportunity. As Kemp bounces away from the first attempted tackle from White-Berryman. But he's slow to his feet. Tagakakabau. We know he'll get through a heap of work. In his time out on the field, he just never stops. Butler, out the back to Kemp. Kemp flicks that one out and it's knocked on. Well, the Rockingham defence has held up so far. We saw the first game, a lot of points scored, Caleb, but we're expecting similar here in this game, or this one a little bit tighter?
Man, with the way the weather's going, obviously it's cool, but there's not, the wind has died down a bit and it's not raining. So, man, I think it would be high scoring again. I don't see any reason why not. Especially with the Roosters out there.
Yeah, well, they definitely like to throw the ball around. Talking to Dwayne Butler earlier when he was down here watching the Val Murphy Trophy games, that he said that they're hoping the rain doesn't come because they are planning to throw the ball around a bit, as they always do. Rockingham. I mentioned Tom Murphy being an inclusion for the Sharks. That's a big in for them. Had COVID during the week.
Big in. Tom's a very experienced player. Obviously, he's out of position at hooker, but he is filling a role because they don't actually have one. That's a poor kick.
Yeah, not the best of kicks there from Coleman. Parky was back. He was back and in position. It basically went straight down his throat, asked no questions. A quick play the ball. I don't know whether Coleman was at marker, and he does get involved and gives away the penalty. Well, it was a good quick play the ball, and on the back of that, they've just taken off. I feel like I've been looking down this end of the field for the entirety of the game so far. Fremantle, they've had some chances, haven't been able to put points on yet. So we wait for the ball to come back. Because maybe with only one ball left, is it because they're all in the school?
That's not a good sign.
Kerr with the first hit up. Now Wilson Wiley against his former team, and they give him what for? Butler out to Edwards. Edwards to Kemp. Kemp gets away from the shooter, and they get it out wide. Parkinson. The sliding defence does their job. They get across and prevent him from scoring, but he stays in the field of play. Edwards wants the ball. He gets it. Now across to Wilson Wiley. He's lost the footy in the contact. And the Sharks, against one of their former teammates, they'd really be enjoying those last couple of moments against Wilson Wiley.
Mate, and it's not going to get any easier for Jules. He really needs to answer back because they are not going to be off him all game. You never are against your old teammates.
Absolutely. It's one of those things you always live for. Rockingham, they've been tested defensively early, but so far they've held strong. They'd like to get through and complete a set and get the ball down the other end of the field.
They've really got to come up with a better kick at the end of their set. This set. Nice, long, deep kick in the corner. Make Fremantle go the whole 100.
Stand up, Delane! Rooster
Now the Sharks. They're actually struggling to get out of their own end in this set. They're really going nowhere, and eventually it's Sam Perra that runs at Wilson Wiley and again goes over the top of him, and the bench goes up. Well, there's not too many get the better of Jules, but so far the Sharks hunting as a pack against him. But the kick is from inside the 40. Trago gives it all he's got. It sits up for Parky, who beats the first defender. They start in decent field position. Kemp, the markers work well though. So Winger making that tackle. Well, it looks like he's moved one in, Liam Johnson, into the centres. Take a Kakabau. Takes it beyond the halfway line. Tudor Edwards trying to... Oh, a little bit of a juggle, and he's lost it. The knock on. Well, there were hands all over it there from Tudor Edwards.
One of those ones that could have gone either way, Donny, I think.
Yeah,
but
50-50s.
Referees have been inclined to go with the defensive teams this year in both the local game and our and the NRL, so not uncommon.
It's in keeping with the consistency in terms of the new interpretations, I suppose. I don't know, Wanasema will not be too happy with it. Perra, again trying to come up with a one-on-one strip. Manu can't grab it. Sam Perra holds on. Now they go out to Hudson. Hudson pulls through the tackle there of Kerr, gets up, goes again. Runs around and behind one of his own teammates there. Kelvin Coleman was just running at an invisible hole. That time turns it underneath the two to Edwards.
Here with me, Rooster.
Nice kick
from Trago into space. Kemp's got it covered, but does have to tap it over the dead ball line, so repeat set.
Good kick from Trago there. Found the space. I think he kicked the tackle early as well, so, you know, wingers are up.
Left side at 10, you've got to make it to me. Really good. If you're involved in
Sharks look pretty good.
Yeah, they've been solid defensively, and they've, you know, their first real chance to attack, and they've now get a chance to build some pressure.
Good.
Test out the Roosters' defence. Trago will find Pera. Charge into the teeth of the Roosters. Murphy out of dummy half, gets the offload. Coleman, dummies to the outside, goes himself. Put down onto his back, that'll slow him down. Murphy waits. Now with Worth. Just a little leg pull there right at the end. And again, a pretty silly soft penalty.
They'll take two here?
It looks like it. They're going to put first points on right in front.
So it could be low scoring, Donny.
It may
be wrong again.
They're certainly showing a lot of respect there to the Fremantle Roosters defence by taking the early two. It's one of those decisions that you might look back on in the 80th minute and think it's absolute genius. But an absolute gift very early on.
Ball's live, Roosters. Ball's live, Roosters and trainers. The ball is live. It goes off a post, Weary. It's not offside.
You wouldn't think Keelan Tutu Edwards will have any dramas with this.
No, you wouldn't think so, Don.
And he doesn't. So 2 points to nil. The Rockingham Sharks.
Wouldn't that be something if this stayed that score with our last game?
Well, it'd certainly be unusual for any competition, really, but certainly NRL WA. We don't see too many 2-0 scorelines.
Got a nice wave there from injured hooker Andrew Jeffries from the Rockingham Sharks.
Well, that's something that would definitely strengthen the Sharks if he can get back from injury. Allow Tom Murphy, as you say, playing out of position at 9. If he can get back to his natural position, I think it strengthens his team considerably.
Well, I think that's wishful thinking. I think Jeffries is a year thing. I think he's 6 months. He did a shoulder reconstruction, so he's a long way back.
Yeah, it's not back next week type stuff.
Release our 3. Come to me. 3.
Because Jonathan Matto on the bench for Rockingham may allow Murphy to switch out of that dummy half roll into a lock roll later on in the game.
And although his fitness is an issue, Jonathan Matto is a great hooker. His fitness is struggling, but last year when he started the season on fire.
Make a play.
Kemp's put it down. It's picked up by Trago. Trago fends away from Puhilia.
Comes again.
He finishes the tackle off on 0. Coleman underneath the Worth.
Gone through a lot of work. Young Damien Worth.
Tutor Edwards. Short ball to Matto, who's knocked it on. Oh, not Matto, Sam Pera. We're just talking about Matto.
But good signs for the Sharks. They're not scared of Freo. They're going after him here.
Yeah, certainly asking some questions. Still no tries. It's the Sharks leading 2 points to nil.
Heads in, arms around.
They look good.
Yeah, about 15 minutes gone. Parky, again, a couple of players slip over. Allows him to get a few more metres than he otherwise would have. Now they worked in a short side. Hilliard light on his feet, despite his size.
He's got great footwork and speed for a big man, doesn't he, Donny? He's very imposing figure.
He really is the complete package. He's got great agility, he's got great strength, good speed.
He's really good looking.
Yeah, I hate it.
How dare you?
I hate it.
How dare you? Can't be good looking and good at footy and be fast. This is rude. Onasimo.
Well, he certainly weren't wrong in the early part of the call, saying he gets through a mountain of work while he is out on the field. Kerr gets underneath that. It's sort of end over end, so it's not the normal spiral torpedo bomb that he's capable of. But
oh, you love to see it though when he connects.
Oh, it is a thing of beauty.
And he's got such a the best thing about his torpedo is he has such a quick connect time. Like he just goes bang and it goes up. Doesn't need to really think about it too much. Doesn't need a big wind up.
Now the Sharks. Forward through Johnson. Getting him to take a bit of pressure off the forwards. Now Pera. He sort of trips as he gets to the defensive line. That almost gets him the quick play of the ball.
He's led the Sharks pack though, hasn't he, old Sam Pera?
He certainly has.
Oh.
Well, another error. This time from Parky. Kemp's come up with one.
Good pressure from Hudson there. Really good pressure. Screaming through. They've had some troubles, the old Roosters, with the high ball.
They have done. He's always one of my favourite players to watch, Connor Hudson. He's 100% energy in just about every game I've ever seen him play.
He only knows one speed though, Connor Hudson, doesn't he?
Yeah.
100,000 miles an hour.
Yes, it does. Which is sometimes see him run into some brick walls, but.
Yep. Mate, I remember I played with him in a game in 2017, and it was absolutely pouring rain, and he was still running 1,000 miles an hour, and I felt like saying to him, mate, there's a time and a place. But in the dry, he is great. Sam.
Oh, Para now. Again, laying that platform. Drawing in defenders. Tudor Edwards in behind the ruck. Trying to twist his way to get the ball to the ground. Told to play it.
Play on.
Ooh, that was all a little bit slow motion. Eventually comes out. Inside pass. And Hudson. He's been shifted to fullback late in the preparations for the Sharks. And he gets their first try.
Tell you what, the late work there from Peter Worth out in this right back row edge spot was perfection. He got the ball late and he was already on an outrun. So basically, if he passes to his outside, Joseph Pahulia picks that player up anyway. But he goes against the grain, finds Hudson on a beautiful line on the inside. And it is try time, and the Sharks lead 6-0.
There you go. Rockingham out in front because, yeah, we mentioned already the Fremantle Roosters 2-0 so far. The Sharks going down in round 1, 24 points to 10, but they are off the bye. Is that a big advantage coming off the bye?
For some people it is. For some people it isn't. I love the bye because I love the week off. But obviously that meant you trained a little harder that week too. So, you know. But for some teams, like obviously the Sharks, they kind of had a false start bye where they had a round and then they got a bye last week. So they're coming in. I think the big difference would be the Freo missing, obviously, Bjorn and a couple of other guys. So the Sharks look pretty fit. And obviously losing Goody before the kickoff is not great. But Connor Hudson deputising and playing out of his skin.
Yeah, I went down to watch the Sharks' first game against South Perth, and despite the fact they were beaten 24 points to 10, I thought Connor playing fullback in that game was one of their best. Again, just tries 100% of the time. Like
you can't knock the guy's heart.
Never stops trying. 8-0. It's been a really good start for Rockingham. They had to weather the storm from Fremantle. They did so. And now they've struck with a penalty goal and the first try of the game as Murphy gets out a dummy half. No one really at marker. But also no space in behind the ruck, so they've closed in nicely there, the defenders.
Well, they're not really doing anything too fancy, are they, Rockingham? They're just rucking it up. Freo do look a little flat. Haven't seen much ball.
No, that doesn't help. I wonder how long it'll be before they look to go to their bench to try and find some energy. They'll get a repeat set. Tudor Edwards into the backfield. They might not need too many tackles. So they've got another set, and here they come again through Coleman. Coleman goes right to the line. Didn't like what he had outside, so took it himself.
Everyone was going the same direction, so he may as well just hold it.
Now to Worth. Tudor Edwards, the beneficiary from that charge down. Again, they wait at dummy half. The pass probably not the best to Worth. Short ball and called forward.
Yeah, good call.
So that short flat ball right at the ad line. And touch judge right in line with it. Called it straight away. So Fremantle perhaps let off the hook a little bit.
Well, they definitely were unlucky there because they got a charge down. Who is that?
It's the tank, Tuakana Williams, wandering past the commentary box, making his way onto the field.
Big human being, isn't he?
There's a fair bit of him. He blocked out the
lights for a second.
Blocked out all view. We couldn't see the field for a while.
Thought the power had gone in the tent, Donny.
We'll see him out there momentarily.
Oh, shot from the halfback.
Now Butler takes the next carry, and again put onto his back. Rockingham dominating the ruck. Edwards looking to create some energy to Kemp.
Nope, that was back. That's fine.
Kemp, he just stepped through, everyone shouting forward, but definitely backwards from the hands. On tackle 5.
That's pure Delane Edwards, that one.
Yeah. Well, that one's a little bit more spirally. Doesn't get a great deal of distance. It's not forward there, I think, from... And now some counter-attack from Hudson. Sets off down that wing. Slips over as he gets to the defence.
Ezra Taumia, former teammate of Connors, says you're not going anywhere.
Well, just out onto the field, so he's the option they've gone to try and bring up the energy a little bit. The Fremantle Roosters. And here comes Williams.
Oh, and he earns a penalty with his first carry.
Good, strong carry.
That's what you're looking for out of your bench. Those real energy runs that the defences can't handle. It's Coleman who, well, he hasn't set the world on fire in attack, but his defence has been good, Donny.
Yeah, he's put on a couple of decent shots.
And when you're obviously a new half in a new club and a new comp, you start with your D, because that's the easiest part to fix.
Yep. He's certainly setting the tone in that regard. There's one thing you're sort of noticing across a few teams with some new combinations in the spine. It'll take a little while for those to come together. Rockingham certainly in that boat.
Another good run from Tuakana Williams. Really good stuff.
And Coleman, well, Pelia was up on Hudson, shuts him down. He's slow to his feet, is Hudson. Worth.
He's played well, Damien Worth.
He's been very good.
He hasn't had a break yet in the front row.
Across, Trago fires it wide and they spilled it. Edwards straight away looking, assesses the situation and just takes the tackle.
Well, that's high.
Well, that looks high. He's still got him high and no whistle.
There's not a lot of Jesse Day. He's brave and he plays well above his weight, but he is light. They are dominating this contest at the moment in Rockingham.
They certainly look well on top. But we know what Fremantle are capable of. They can flick a switch.
Yep. Oh, and they get one there. Tuakana unlucky. Second effort. Ooh, I felt like they were a bit hard done by there because the Sharks, they dominated that set, so they deserve the leeway I felt from the ref.
Still a decent carry from Ezra, despite the fact that the set has been dominated by Rockingham. It was a good carry. But there's a great charge. And you talk about that brave, courageous.
Well, the last time he got carried back 20 metres, that time he went straight through. Delane does a typical Delane hit up.
Yeah, but they get numbers in there. They pick him up and drive him backwards. And get back on top in that set. Sanders out of dummy half onto the field. He's in jersey 9, but started from the bench. Edwards to Kemp. Kemp to Kerr. Short ball. Bahilia running the great line towards the line. Reaches out. Slams it down.
A big man. TRY for try time. Bahilia goes in.
Well, we said they can flick a switch and consider it flicked.
What a line. And a good ball from Sonny Kerr.
Yeah. It's held it up nicely. And again, we mentioned him being the complete package, and shows that he just runs perfect lines as well. Adding to his resume.
Adding to the reasons why we hate you, mate. No, but awesome. That was just awesome play. Yeah. Really, really good from Joseph. And he keeps his feet as well. Absorbs the contact from two guys who hit him pretty hard, and has enough presence of mind to reach that big mid out and plant it down. Well done, Joseph.
Yeah, it was a great rugby league try.
As we are well under lights here at Treeby.
So probably another thing that we don't get to see all that often over here in Western Australia. Generally grand final day, and maybe a couple of night games down in Rockingham early in the season, but I don't see a lot of night footy for the men's.
Mate, I think South Perth have got a couple in this year as well, which is good, in the central venue. It's becoming more of a common thing. Obviously, it makes sense as well. Get people hanging around for after-match functions and whatnot.
Nice conversion.
Against the wind too.
Yeah, the breeze has died down, but it's still definitely a factor here. At 8 points to 6, Rockingham still in front. Courtesy of that early penalty goal.
Harrison Sanders is out there now. Reggie Manu's come off.
Time to run. Go.
That one just bobbles around, eventually sits up, gets the bounce that he wants there, Delane Edwards. Gets it off to Taumea to take it forward. Fights to his feet. Butler to Mitch Kerr. Spins out of that tackle.
Geez, he's just one of the most underrated players in the comp, isn't he, Mitchell Kerr? Wouldn't show up on many coaches' stat sheets for players to watch, but he just gets through his work. As Jules is handled again.
Murphy gets physical. Kerr to Hilliard, and now we get to see him in open space. He takes on Hudson, and Connor Hudson, right around the bootlaces, does it perfectly.
Mate, Hudson fell over. Joseph ran into him. They both just ran into each other.
Well, it was effective, whatever it was. Kerr on the final play just puts that one into space, and Hudson's there to pick that one up on the run. Cops one high for his trouble. Well, again, not high according to the referee.
Geez, top speed, Connor Hudson on his fingertips.
After coming up with the
The toe grab.
The Ant-Man tackle. He
dead set fell over and grabbed his big toe. Great work from Connor Hudson. Another beautiful line from Joseph Puglia, though.
Yeah.
Made a big kick here.
Murphy, so Matto's out there, so Murphy's has a running forward now, as we said would happen at some stage. He goes back to Trago from just outside the 40.
Beautiful. Oh,
again on the fingertips. Never really looked comfortable under that, Kemp, but does take it. They have struggled somewhat under lights here, the Roosters, with the high ball.
Move now, 17.
Sanders goes to Edwards.
He's getting through a ton of work, the lane, trying to ease the pressure off his forwards.
Yeah, they've lost a couple of front rows, so he sort of put his hand up and said, "I'll play that role."
Front row to fullback, old Delane. Plays wherever.
Yep, wherever the team needs him. Fires one out. So a couple of players raced out of the line for the Sharks. Inside to Pahilia. He looks to bump away from the first. Somehow gets that ball to Kerr. Desperate tackle. Hudson again comes from behind to make it.
Mate, he's been great. Connor Hudson has been absolutely fantastic so far. Showing up all over the place.
Well, they're a big chance here, the Roosters. They go across. That's Henry Hedder.
What's he got here? Knock on?
I think he might have been pulled down short and the ball might have come free. I'm not sure who the defender was that came across to make that tackle, but Hedder looked like he was headed for the try line.
Mate, I think it was Connor Hudson again.
Hudson again.
I think he made the tackle beforehand and then sprinted all the way across and made that one.
Well, he's in the in goal at the moment on his haunches, and he deserves to be. I think he's put in a mountain of work to go from one side of the field to the other on a couple of occasions to save the Sharks and maintain their lead.
Yeah, he needs the Powerade bottle, that man. As the Roosters give away a silly penalty. They had the Sharks on the ropes there.
Just gets them out of trouble.
Come.
Here we go. White Berryman, who's come over from the Lions, I believe, from last year.
Yeah.
Actually got hurt in the Anzac game, unfortunately, last year, so he did miss the season.
Move now.
Marcel Loader coming onto the field for the Sharks.
I like Marcel.
Milking, mate.
He's a nice big lad who can play some serious footy. Goes, I want it. Give it here.
He goes the decoy with his first involvement.
Oh,
and that one's off the shin there, really, of Trago. So they don't get a great deal of territory, so the Roosters 40 metres out from their own line on the first tackle.
Delane always makes that first guy miss as Yuri Taipiti comes up with fresh air. Oh, they are really going after. Gotta wait for them to get off the field.
Simon Tabakanaka really keen to get into the action. Day.
Deserves a quick play of the ball.
Does. Matto holds
That's a penalty.
on.
Yeah.
And eventually it does come.
Had to be a penalty. He deserved a quick play of the ball. He broken all the tackles. He was quick. He was on his front. And they were just mucking around with him. Freo having a chat. And Delane says, let's go for 2.
That was not the call I was expecting. I suppose it levels it up.
Well, it's respect, isn't it? Freo, they've had chances. They've scored 1 try and they've been on the line about 4 or 5 times now. So, absolute respect, and they're not silly. They're not going to give up 3 points.
Well, we'll lock this game up. It has been a different type of battle to the first game, but certainly enthralling.
Still very good.
Absolutely. A big period here between now and half time as they do lock this scoreboard up. Fremantle, it feels like they've been on top for the last sort of 5 to 10 minutes. So you feel like this next set of 6 is going to be important after you take this penalty goal. You definitely want to complete and make sure that you maintain that dominance in the arm wrestle.
Well, there's about 5 left. There's about 5 minutes left, so you kind of really want to make sure you don't fall further behind as another ball goes into the school.
Yeah, I think the NRL WA operations manager, he wouldn't be enjoying that.
No, not at all. He would not be enjoying those balls going into that non-rugby league playing school.
So 8 all.
We're looking for a footy here. Here we go. Got one.
We had to steal one from one of the kids in the crowd. We're ready to go. It's 8 all on the cash converter scoreboard. Connor Hudson gets us back underway. Kemp takes that one. Trying to front row to bring it back. Taumea again, wrestled, thrown around. Sanders looked one way, comes back the other. Again, just very physical in the ruck. That time it's Maddo. Tabakanaka. That's ripped out one-on-one. That should be 6 again. And going through is Mitch Kerr. Connor Hudson comes up with a great tackle. He's got to let him go though and does. Tabakanaka out of dummy half. Slides past Coleman. Now Sanders. Waiting at dummy half. Kerr. Pahilia bounces away from 2. Pahilia towards the line. Connor Hudson with another fantastic tackle. Who is this human?
Hudson's getting sick of having to tackle him. Absolutely sick of it.
I don't know whether I've ever seen a fullback lead the tackle count at half-time, but Connor Hudson might just.
Oh, here we go.
Delane Edwards dancing. Nah. Hudson can't come up with a tackle this time. Neither can Coleman, and Delane Edwards puts the Roosters in front.
Well, he couldn't make that tackle too, could he? He was fullback. Gosh, Dad said the players in that run beat about, let's be conservative and say 10 defenders.
Yeah.
Connor Hudson made 2 tackles in a row and then almost a third one.
Yeah.
It's just not good enough.
No, he's got it right to be blowing up at the front line defence when the fullback's having to make that many tackles. Well, we said the Roosters needed to complete that set after kicking the penalty goal. They certainly did. They've gone the length of the field in that set.
Certainly was. And that was what the Sharks didn't want in the lead into half-time. There'd be about a minute left on the clock or 2. And they certainly did not need that. All right, Powder Kemp, don't kick this one over into the school. They got enough balls. Mind reading. No, didn't listen.
It's
oh yes.
Oh, stayed in the ground. So the Roosters in front, 14-8. And the Sharks, they look like they're begging for half-time all of a sudden.
They look a little tired. So I think they'll welcome half-time and they'll welcome the chance to reset. They've expended a lot of energy winning that forward battle, which I feel like they had. They were definitely on top in the middle of the field. Damien Worth and Sam Perry were really giving it to them. Oh, Delane wants to score now.
Yep, it was just, and straight away with the offload, and they've got some numbers here. They get to the outside. Kerr looks inside to Butler, goes outside to Parky, and straight from the kickoff. Well, it doesn't get any better than that. The Roosters are putting on a show.
That is just typical Fremantle Roosters football. As soon as Delane caught that.
Yeah, my favourite part was when Delane got the ball and you said, Delane wants to score now. That was right at the start of that call.
And it's just like, he got it and you could see the look in his eyes, and it was like, they're not happy to go in the halftime break with the lead. They want to score now, and they do. And it just goes bang, bang, and it just is... You know what? I've played in games where Freo get in the mood and I'm on the other side, and it's just so frustrating. Like, it is actually annoying that they can just do that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they actually hurt themselves sometimes playing that way. But the fact that they have no fear of anything. They have no fear of failure. They don't care. Oh, it is just pure Fremantle Roosters football there.
Well, that's just a brilliant, brilliant finish to this half from the Roosters. They've gone penalty goal, try, and all of a sudden they go in with a sizable lead to the break.
Mate, they were down 8-0 about 15 minutes ago, and they didn't look anywhere near like they were going to go in with the lead. Just exploded in 5 minutes.
Kemp with a wide conversion attempt. To give them an even further boost. Moves in, strikes it out to the left. It stays out to the left, so at half-time it will be the Roosters with a 10-point lead, 18 points to 8. It's been a fantastic finish to the half from the Roosters. The Sharks, they've got to find some way to regroup, Caleb.
100%. And just like you said, Donny, Freo, they're just that team that they can flip the switch, and geez, they just ended that half with a real switch flip there, didn't they?
The lights are on here at Treaty Community Sports Centre. It's been an interesting half. 18-8, the Roosters lead. We'll take a break. Be back with the second half shortly. G'day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Treaty Community and Sports Centre for the second half. The second game of Magic Round between the Fremantle Roosters and the Rockingham Sharks. It's the Roosters that hit top gear in the last 5 minutes of that first half, leading 18 points to 8. Rockingham kicking off. They need to set the tone with their defence right now. I think this first set will tell us a lot, Caleb. Caleb's not on yet. He'll be in here in a minute. Oh, we've got a knock on here from the Roosters.
There's that first set that we talked about, Donny. That means a lot. Oh, that would just be the Freo way, wouldn't it? Score the last set of the first half and first set of the second half, just drop it cold.
There we go.
I'll tell you what, Donny, just before we go to the game, we've got some fancy equipment in the booth these days, haven't we? Oh my gosh, it is.
There's lots of colourful lights on the desks that are going to distract you throughout.
Yep, it's pretty. I'm like a cat looking at red lights. Gonna drop the Donny's Bell's greatest hits track.
Oh
no.
Well, a pretty fundamental error there, and it comes across to Parkinson. Steps back infield.
So Toa here still at Freo, but his brother, Tauni, he's playing at Fullergy at the moment. Oh. Freo don't waste any time. Throw double cutout pass on tackle 2. Leg pull.
And they get themselves another penalty. And a bit of back chat. March 10. Jonathan Matter not too happy with the call. We've seen both teams with some pretty fundamental errors to start this second half as Simon Tabakanaka takes it from the tap. So Roosters with Kemp. Out to Kerr. Sort of run themselves out of room. Earlier will play the ball. Tabakanaka. Good run. Great leg speed. And picked up and thrown mercilessly to the ground. Butler. Out to Edwards. Edwards stands. Can't get that pass away. Taumea, good footwork, gets the offload to Sanders, who had to come forward, diving to catch it.
Did he slip over?
No, he's taken the catch.
He's done something to his leg. No?
The kick across field, knocked backwards, I think, from the Sharks. That's still there for anyone.
It's live. And we're going to go knock on Roosters, Scotty says.
So it must have been a Roosters hand that got up there in the contest that knocked it forward, not knocked backwards from the Sharks.
Tell you what, Tuakana-Williams got on that at the back there, so great work from the big man to cover the spoil.
I did say it was a big bloke. There's a couple of them out there for Rockingham, so I didn't quite identify who it was, but Tuakana. Well, they've gone the early shift now, the Sharks. Parkinson's got it covered, though.
Great
they still
meters.
get up towards the halfway line.
I didn't realise that White Berryman was that quick. And Tatoa can hot-foot it with the best of them. Oh, that's a poor pass from Peta. Surla, terrible pass.
Yeah, Surla Pera that just putting the ball behind Murphy, who was trying to run into contact. The pass just a little bit behind him, so they spill it. Again, the ball ends up with the Fremantle Roosters. The Butler to play it to Sanders. Goes to Edwards. Edwards stops as he gets to the line. Stands in the tackle.
Did well then, because it was going to be an obstruction.
Taumea. Again, that footwork is causing a few problems. And
Strip.
Worth has just pulled that out, 2 in the tackle.
Gilchrist.
Gilchrist, sorry.
Thinking about it. Will they take the 2 here? Tap.
Tap and go. Day runs into Gilchrist.
Gets dealt with as well, but no issues there. Just gets up and moves on.
Oh, he loves it.
He must get lit up about 2 or 3 times a game, Jesse, and just moves on. There's not a lot of him.
Sanders fires it out to Edwards. Edwards just holds it up. Players in motion. Kemp. The ball's come out.
No.
And the knock-on is the call. Kemp's going to remonstrate with the referee, but he's made his decision. So loose carry the call.
Rockingham can't afford to concede, Donny. They need to be the ones that strike.
We did see this a little bit in the first half where Fremantle had a number of opportunities and Rockingham's defence held up early doors. Once again, Fremantle have had some chances, but Rockingham holding steady for the time being. Now desperately trying to bring it out at their own end and give themselves some sort of territory.
It's a good run there from
Very
Surla.
good run. Now Maddo on the back of that. And Ernsey side the penalty. Well, that was Surla Pera with the great run, quick play of the ball. Maddo on the back of it, run straight at an offside player. And now all of a sudden they're going to go down into Fremantle territory.
I like him as a runner, Surla. He's quite an aggressive runner of the football as well, which is why, you know, don't get me wrong, he can play in the centres, but I think the wing is his spot because when he gets it, you just want him to go. You don't want him to do anything else. Tom Murphy, great run.
Great way to start the set. Beat the first defender in Tabakanaka and a quick play the ball. Loader. Tudor Edwards. Now with Trago. Trago gets past Day, but then falls over. Gilchrist in a dummy half there. They switch the point of the attack.
Backwards.
It's all back, picked up. Casoas. To Edwards. This time straightens. Ball's been pulled out. Again, there. 2 in the tackle.
No point arguing. Can't see Scotty going, oh, yes, you're correct.
Well, head up. I think he was just trying to wrap the ball up, but ended up just pulling it straight out. Now the Sharks still driving towards the line. Come across, juggle from Hudson.
Does well.
Just reels it in before it impacts the Roosters player. Does well just to retain possession. They worked down a short side.
Murphy wants it. Ooh.
Murphy not far away at all.
Is that Harrison Sanders in there saving that one? Oh, this is a try.
Barging straight over, just isolating players. Tuakana Williams crashes over.
As soon as he... Oh, this is a try. Just 1-on-1. They did well to stop Tom in the initial, but Tom gets up for a quick play of the ball, and really nice pass there from the hooker. Finds the big Tuakana Williams. He probably comes off for a well-earned rest now, Donny.
Probably. He wouldn't be too far off, but a little bit of trench warfare there, and they got the tank and just rolled over the top of them. Following somewhat similar pattern to the first half, where Fremantle had some chances but couldn't score, and they go down the other end and Rockingham do. So continuing with that theme.
Here we go.
He said they didn't want to concede first in this second half. They haven't done. Pilot over the conversion, and 18 points to 14 on the cash converter scoreboard. Rockingham right back in it.
Can they go again? Let's see if Freo want to play a bit of footy or...
Well, we know Freo want to play a bit of footy.
Just in the right areas sometimes for Freo, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Stay behind, man.
Sam Petter looks to go out as well.
That'll be a... He was big in his first stint.
It was great. And it will be for Tuakana, I'd say. So Tuakana will probably get a run this set.
And that's been called forward. That's pass.
That is just dreadful.
That's... Well, we use the term coach killer a lot, but that's up there.
The worst one is obviously not catching the ball off the kickoff. That's the worst one. But then throwing a forward pass off that catch is probably second. right next to such things as winger scooting down the blind side and getting thrown out.
Yep.
And winger and centre dropping the ball first tackle off a scrum. They're probably the two others.
Well, Fremantle a chance to extend this lead once more.
Very quick play the ball from Delane.
Sanders spins out of the tackle.
Scores. He scored.
He gets the ball down. Well, that's unbelievable.
Oh, that's what happens when you try and whack someone without actually trying to tackle him.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've seen that a number of times where they try to put on the shot without wrapping the arms, and if you don't complete the tackle, we see exactly what happens. Sanders rolls through it, gets a try to his name.
And you know what? It's great to see the Sanders boys really getting it done. Well, they're having a chat with the ref here. What's this one about? Glenn and Scotty having an animated conversation. Scotty going, I've had enough of this conversation, mate.
Yeah, and interesting, obviously Delane Edwards, the coach of the Fremantle Roosters, but Dwayne Butler is there as the captain.
Yep. Holding his hand, which is good.
Exactly right.
Well,
it's an interesting one, like at Fremantle. Delane doesn't like talking to the referees, but he always talks to the referees anyway.
I don't know where you got that notion from, mate. Delane loves talking at the referees.
Yes, but he gets in trouble when he's the captain. When he's not the captain, he's not allowed to talk to the referee.
Scotty has a fairly decent relationship with most of the players, so he's quite happy to engage in conversation. Obviously, there are certain referees that you can do it with. For an example, Michael Sims back in the day, you couldn't say boo to him. I remember I was captain and I didn't know if I could say hello to him one day. Hello, Michael. You're in the bin, Caleb.
Yeah, there was definitely some moments like that. I remember running the line for some of Simsy's games, and he was pretty quick. And anybody that said anything to him,
yeah. The one thing I loved about him, ultra consistent. No one could do it.
Yeah.
There wasn't leeway for some. It was you're in trouble if you did it. Well, it's short, and Florida Kemp makes a meal of it again.
Well, he has really struggled with the high ball today, Porricam.
That wasn't even high.
Well, just anything that goes up in the air.
It was 10 feet in the air. Don't get me wrong. I accept it if Matt Burton throws the bomb up and you don't catch it, but
that was just a little dolly.
No under 8s that can kick higher than that.
That's it. Hudson straightens.
I tell you what, it's actually good to watch Connor get the ball and just go off that right foot and hammer down, because it does look nice as Coleman goes for a scamper.
Just all a little flat there. Well, that was far from flat. That was off the back fence, but the Roosters hold on. Again, they just pick and drive, and over they go.
They're pointing at the play the ball. They believe that was obstructed. The referee does not agree, and that's exactly what the Sharks needed.
Well, it was just all around that 5 cent piece there for the Rockingham Sharks. Just went bang, bang, bang into that same area 3 times in a row. And eventually it's Jonathan Matto that gets across and scores. But this game was starting to open up a flood of points all of a sudden. We didn't see a great deal in that first half, but this second half it's been try, error, try, error, try.
You think the message would be, let's complete this set, guys.
Well,
let's just complete
you talk about rugby league cliches, and after a try, everyone's screaming out "must complete." That's.
I feel like the worst thing you can say to someone on the field is "don't pass it."
Yes.
Because I feel like they only hear the words "pass it." It's another good kick. It's 24-20 on the Fuel to Go and Play scoreboard. Now, great sponsors. Fuel to Go and Play Healthway, Cash Converters, Consolidated Energy.
Here comes Matto. So no mistake from the pass from the kickoff.
Sam Perra.
Perra, rather. I've called him Matto a couple of times tonight.
You have. Don't know who should be offended, Matto or Perra. Tom Murphy's come alive in a running role, hasn't he?
He has. He's made a big difference. So try and again come up with a one-on-one strip, but
tell you what,
Murphy's not letting it go.
Murphy would be one player that I would not be trying to do a one-on-one steal on. Holds that ball like it's going to drop golden nuggets.
Got on the front foot and put the kick in early in the set.
Delane gets met quite hard, dealt with.
Move now! 15! 15!
Well, a little bit of a juggle there from Rilu Mupaki, but he holds on to it.
That's got to be... They're on the edge, yeah.
Yep.
Too long.
He's too long every time. Every time.
And it is Tom. He's just said to... Scotty's just said to Keelan, Tom, every time is too long. Too long.
He's the only one, mate. The rest of you are all good.
He's the only one, mate. There you go.
He's just testing him to the edge.
Just got to be a touch quicker. He'll be feeling like he's winning the ruck and earning that right. And again, straight at him.
It is a good time to put Peter Worth back into the game, I believe. Oof. Coleman again, great shot from the halfback.
The halfback keeps putting on that good contact. Butler out the back. Come out to Edwards, to header. No way of getting through though. White Berryman makes the tackle. Manu's back on at dummy half. Ball hits the deck. Picked up by Parkinson. It's all a bit sloppy, but they hold on to possession, the Roosters. So they've got another play, some more sloppiness. Kemp has to go back and clean it up. Tries to find somebody that's behind him, eventually finds someone. He comes to Kerr, who has to put up the bomb. He'll chase through himself. Hudson knocks it back. They might get a result here, the Roosters. They're going to trap Connor Hudson in the in goal. And from just absolute sloppiness, they've come up with a goal line dropout.
Insane, the game of rugby league sometimes, isn't it? Actual insane. There was about 6 things that went wrong in that, and 1 thing that went right, and that was just Robert Sonny Kerr puts in a good kick and chases, and they get a result. Unbelievable.
Well, now they've got a repeat set, and they've got another 6 to try and get it right. And they will get the penalty. I think stepping over the line for the goal line dropout.
It's got to be on or behind the line. That is the law, that is the rule, and that is the thing they should be doing.
And it's not a hard thing to do.
Well, it's not a terribly tough rule.
No.
It's not like it's hard to understand. See that line? Do not step over it.
Well, they're going to take the 2 points, make it a 6-point margin. Once again, respect.
Yeah, look, I'd be taking the 2. It's a gimme.
Yeah.
It's a given. And for the Roosters, they don't really need to start their set down there, do they?
No, they can score from anywhere. In fact, they probably look more likely when they're...
You're right. They actually, so from what we've watched, they definitely look more likely from further away. They've been very sloppy heading into territory.
Yeah. I must say though, I've been over in Western Australia for a fair while now, and I don't know that I can remember too many games where there's been 3 penalty goals.
You're probably right.
(26-20), the Roosters in front.
Here we go.
It's been a fantastic day down here so far. Magic round. NRL WA, putting all the fuel to go and play Premiership games on at the same venue.
Yep, we've had 2 Val Murphys and 2 Premiership games, mate, along with some under-10s action and the kicking competition.
It's been a real festival atmosphere, even though the weather probably hasn't been quite as great as you would have wanted. But there's one thing you can't control. It's been a good day.
Look, I'll have to put in a better prayer next year for the weather from the big man upstairs. But mate, we've had a good day.
That's it.
You know, it did look like it was going to rain quite hard earlier, but you know, it has fined up, and while it's cold, it's fresh. It's, you know, good rugby league conditions.
Some of the results from earlier in the Val Murphy games: Ellenbrook 34-6 over Joondalup, and the Alkimos Tigers 28-22, and a bit of an upset over Fremantle.
Mate, Ellenbrook obviously were dominant in their game. They were very good. They've got a couple of really nice halves who can play. But Alkimos, man, they came here basically with 13 players and stole a game from the Roosters. Connor Day in the new colours played his first game for the Tigers. He's from Fremantle. He played outstanding. And they got the chocolates, and Freo will rue that one.
Certainly will. Good win for the Tigers. Right here now, we've got a real contest. 26-20, the Roosters in front of the Sharks. The Sharks trying to work their way back to the lead. Did lead this one 8 points to 0. Tom Murphy thrashing about.
That was a milk, that one.
There was no one holding on to him. He was just thrashing about anyway. White Berryman steps inside, bumps away from another.
He's done very well there.
That's a nice carry. On tackle 5 though, it comes to Trago. That one again shanked off the side of the boot. He hasn't struck too many the way he would like tonight. And that one ends up trickling over the sideline and doesn't cause too much heartache there for the Roosters.
No, it was a bit of a timid end, wasn't it? Timid end for the set, but they're here now.
It's been an interesting kicking game from Trago. He's put in a couple of good kicks and a couple that have sort of come off right off the side of the boot or off the shin or off the knee. He just hasn't quite struck him the way he would want on a few occasions.
He's had some pearlers and he's had other ones that have just gone terribly.
Roosters, dummy and go from Manu.
Great run. It's almost a penalty.
Almost a penalty, milking the call from the referee late in the count. That kick in behind just finds touch. That's some game management stuff there from the Roosters.
Delane Edwards, great kick. As the rain begins to fall again, I believe.
A little bit of rain coming. Not quite enough for me to go and put the dryzer bone on, but...
Move now, come 12!
So now the Sharks out of dummy half.
Stand 11! Get straight!
And again being forced to go 100. And we're... I'm pretty comfortable that the Roosters could go 100 at any given moment. I'm not sure who's quite going to do it for the Sharks.
Oh, to be Hudson.
And speak of Hudson, he's chasing that through. And knocked on by the Roosters. That's some question marks as to whether Hudson was actually onside, but...
referee didn't mind it, so...
No, the touch judge called it all clear.
So we move on. And he has looked the most likely, old Connor. Look, it was... I'm not going to call it a good kick from Coleman. I'm going to call it adventurous. He's probably lucky that Widemu Paki's probably not the best cleaner-upper of the grubber in the world.
He's, you'd say a makeshift winger, really.
Yeah, well, he's found a place on the wing here in Freo, but obviously when he played at South Perth and North Beach previously, he was in the back row. So...
Well, now the Sharks, they've... managed to manufacture somewhat of an opportunity here. Pera. Looks like Murphy's gone back into 9. They go wide out to Hudson. Hudson runs into some solid contact there. I think that's Sonny Kerr with the shot. Now Coleman. Underneath the Worth. Worth finds his front, wants a quick play. The ball doesn't quite get it. Now to Trago. Trago dribbles that in behind.
It's a good kick.
Kemp's got it, but they've got numbers there, the Sharks. They've got to keep him in the in goal. They hold him up. They drive him back and they get what they stated that was their aim.
It's a great kick. One of the better ones they've done all game, the Sharkies. They had 5 chases. And if Porter Kemp gets out of the field of play there, that's the game for Freo. So Sharks attacking the line. 6 down. We are on.
Still plenty of time left in this contest. Doesn't quite strike that. That one's going to bounce, and it sits up nicely for Hudson. It's the fullback that brings it back.
Worth.
That's Worth, sorry, back out there.
Keelan beats some markers. Tom's going to go.
It's Worth again.
Ooh, not the guy I'd be finding.
Just lying in the ruck there is Manu. Murphy's got it. Spins it back. Tudor Edwards gets away from one. Tackle 5. Murphy.
Oh, that's high. He's got him high, and that is not good.
Tray goes out.
That is not good at all.
Well, this is a big moment in this match, Caleb. Delane Edwards catching Tray go high as he tried to put a kick through.
Was it Delane? Just trying to figure out who it was, obviously.
Dell was definitely there involved in the tackle coming through.
Oh, Carlo is groggy as he gets up. He says he's okay. And he doesn't appear to be coming from the field. I think he was very shocked with the way he got hit.
Well, it looks like it's just going to be a penalty for a shoulder charge against Delane. So Rockingham will get another set. And Pera
Move now!
takes that one hard, forward. Coleman wants it, gets it. Underneath to Worth. He's worked incredibly hard all day. Murphy. Tudor Edwards towards the goalpost. Plays it. Out to Trago. Trago towards the line, spins. Held up is the call. Well, definitely some calls for an obstruction there. There was a decoy runner from Rockingham, and I saw a Roosters player hit the ground. But it's tense footy out there at the minute. Trago's got to play the ball. Goes to Tudor Edwards. Coleman. They go wide. That one pops up over the shoulder, going backwards.
No,
not gone backwards. Knock on the court.
Right there.
turnover here.
Well, they hand the ball over. And Fremantle. They survived that shark raid.
Oh, I like that, the shark raid. It's a nice coined term there, Donald.
Edwards picks in a target, runs straight at him.
Move now! Move! 11 out! Good work, mate. Good work. Move now!
So the Sharks having a player called out there in Gilchrist.
Stand now! Sharks to move!
So Fremantle just looking to complete this set. Get the ball down the other end. They've had to defend for a fair period of time. Tagakakabau will play it. Goes back to Kerr for the kick. Pressure coming through.
Outside.
Good take.
Hudson genuflecting there as he took that one.
Oh, he's sore.
Slow to his feet.
He's holding his ribs. He's really caught one there. And Connor.
So now the Sharks, as that one comes free, Edwards picks it up and they get the call. Goes against Delane for stripping it out.
There's Reggie Manu, who looks like he's coming to the bench. He's picked up an injury of some kind. Goes, I can't go. I need to come off.
Jesse Day's been bouncing up and down on the sideline for the last 10 minutes or so. Looks like Simon Tabakanaka's going to join him, looking to get out onto the field. Oh, something's happened there. White Berryman stopped before he's got to the defensive line. Something's twinged in the hammy there or something.
And he's going to come off. Oh, no, calf.
It's just
typical
stretching
cramp.
it out. Cramp.
Needs the pickle juice out there. Is it pickle juice? Is that what they have?
Yeah, that's the new fad. Hera makes his way off and Tuakana Williams back on.
He'll finish the last 7 odd minutes of this game, Tuakana. Expect some big things.
Well, just looking to have a big impact. Coleman inside, and it's Hudson. Hudson for the line, flicks it out.
Oh, great forward pass from Hudson.
The last pass from Connor Hudson called forward. But Coleman and Connor Hudson coming together there to create a great opportunity. The speculator from Hudson goes forward.
Tell you what, the Sharkies are looking pretty likely in the life. As the water comes in, the Sharks start swimming.
Well, let's see if they can come up with something in this last 5 or so minutes. We've already had one game with a big finish to it. North Beach stealing one from the Joondalup Giants in the final minutes.
Reminder to those at home, we don't do golden point here. If it's a draw, it's a draw.
It's Pera back there to clean that up. He's gone to fullback, so
Hudson having a rest?
Yeah, Hudson having a bit of a breather. He's got through a power of work.
He's been awesome. I can't, it's hard to give the guy a compliment sometimes, but geez, he's been great.
He's getting out of dummy half. We've got to come up with something a little bit more expansive than that, you'd think. Maddo, Tudor Edwards. His work rate's been fantastic as well.
Like usual, our Ken Allen medalist from 2022.
Another little chip, and it's Connor Hudson chasing through, wants a bounce. He just has to put it on the boot again.
6 again.
And 6 again, so he manufactures a set restart there somehow. Didn't get the bounce he wanted. Williams coming off the back fence, runs at a target, wants a quick play the ball, will get that. Trago to Gilchrist, comes out to White Berryman, steps! White Berryman towards the line, what a tackle to Toa Parkinson. And he stays down after that tackle, clutching at a lower leg.
Geez, the footwork. He turned Tane Peakman inside out, and Parkinson comes up with a screamer of a tackle. Oh, cramp. Another cramp. Cramp's coming.
Well, he really needs the pickle juice. He's had a couple of cramps.
Over here, mate. Come over here. Over here. Yeah. Tackle 3.
So you're just going to move the ball infield and play on. A floating pass to Trago. He fires it across to Tudor Edwards. Short ball from Coleman.
They've looked better with Murphy in the back row, haven't they?
They have.
Try. Oh,
Charging towards the line, doesn't quite get there. Quick play the ball. Murphy to Coleman, rolls it in behind.
Oh,
Great
hands.
pick up.
Delane Edwards, who else? Play on.
Well,
It's a
the
strip.
Sharks have got the ball with a one-on-one strip. Trago ends up with it. A bit of push and shove from Edwards. He's going to complain. I'm glad he didn't pin him. That's all I can say there. Gilchrist, he's dancing, stepping. Held up by Edwards.
Oh, and dealt with.
Smashed into the
And
ground.
lost.
The ball's come out.
Yep. Delane Edwards earned that one.
Yep.
He dealt with him on the ground and the ball comes free. Oh, wow. What a 30 seconds for Delane Edwards that was.
With a great pickup, then being stripped one-on-one, and then comes up with that tackle to force the error.
Jeez.
Well, we can't have too long left on the clock now.
Huge defensive play there from the Roosters and Delane.
A
Oh, it's a
push in the scrum.
Play on. No. Referee goes no. He just wants to go again. We're going to do it again, he says, I believe. There's none of this turnover stuff in league like there is in Union. We just feed it again. You got to get it clean. Sharks will be looking for it again. Roosters ready this time.
Hedges ball in and out as quickly as possible that time.
Basically threw it through there.
He just basically passed to the lock.
Passed it to Kemp at the back there. Your ball. Oh, wow.
Yep. That's a rugby league scrum for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Great run, Joseph.
Oh, the ball comes free. And Rockingham, they still have another chance.
How does he do? He's hit a great line. He's going to get a quick play of the ball for all money, and then that happens. Well, as they pick up Tuakana Williams, that's got to be the biggest pickup on earth.
Yeah, that's a PB for someone out there from the Roosters.
Here we go. There's nothing left in this game. Can the Sharks manufacture a try?
Gilchrist running between defenders. Tagakakabau, Day, they come up with the stop. Maddo to dummy half, fires it out. to Edwards, Trago, Coleman, and the mistake picked up by Kemp. Well, Kemp was thinking about going the 100. It doesn't need to now. They just need a completed set. Tabakanaka gets out of dummy half.
Segi.
This might be just one of the simpler sets, although they do put a couple of passes to get it out today. The ball comes free. Play on, is it? No. They've got a knock on.
I can't believe what's happening with Freo here.
Well, they're just...
Why are they offloading the ball? What is going on? Someone lock it up and hit the ball up 4 times.
Just keep inviting Rockingham to have to level this one up. It's like they want this one to finish as a draw. It's 26-20. The Roosters in front. And they're playing like they're coming from behind.
Just so everyone's clear, there is not a lot of time left. On our clock is obviously where we're past time.
Move now!
Now Maddo to Worth.
Here we go.
Tudor Edwards, Trago, Hudson. Hudson straightens. Oof. Good tackle again. It's Delane Edwards. Trago dummies to a couple, gives it the second time. Maddo goes from dummy half.
They're awake that time. Here we go.
Williams tried to force him across. Tudor Edwards trying to push him out of the way now. Dribbles one in behind. White Berryman gets to it.
No, they're offside.
Offside.
And that's the hooter.
All offside, lads.
All offside in front of the kick. And the siren sounds. Well, the Roosters will tap it and kick it out, you'd think.
Oh, I don't know, man. They might try and score. What we've been watching. They might go offload, and Rockingham intercept to draw the game up. Have you watched the last 5 minutes of this game?
Well, that's definitely a possibility.
Unbelievable. That's it.
And that is the ball game. And the Roosters, well, you've got to say they escape with a 26-20 win in the end, Caleb.
Mate, it's cool to watch, but geez, it's got to be. It is. Actually, Delane's the coach. So
yeah, I was going to say, lucky the coach is out there on the field
your
with
heart's
them.
just going to miles an hour.
Yeah. I think if you were sitting on the sideline and didn't have that control of being out there, then it certainly would give you a heart attack, the way that the Roosters play and the way that they played that. There was just nothing that they did right in that last 5 minutes. When leading by 6 points, they just wanted to complete sets and put it down the other end of the field and kept coming up with errors.